Hello everyone. It's Monday, August 26, 2019, 4:49 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Los Angeles, California time. There was an incident that just happened on the, let's say, 2 p.m. hour today at Citibank. This is what happened, and I'm going to give you an update on what happened after I shut the video that's already posted on my channel pertaining to Citibank. What originally happened was, in the last month and a half, I went into this particular branch, as well as another Citibank branch. Not one time has anyone ever asked me to put my signature on a piece of paper or a withdrawal slip or anything like that when I withdraw money from my savings account or my checking account. What they would do is they would tell me to put my ATM card on the outside of the machine. Usually at branches, you can insert the chip of your ATM card and push in your PIN number to verify who you are. And also, I would supply them with my California driver's license, which they would take in their hand through the window, look, and verify who I am. Well, today, it was different. Okay? I went in there and I withdrew a large sum of money. I have that right. It's mine. And the teller says she needs verification, which they sometimes have done that. Go get verification approval from the manager. Well, this particular manager that you see on video already is familiar with my previous transactions and approves them. It's almost like she was waiting for me to come and do my next transaction. What the teller went to do, now keep in mind, I'm partially half deaf in both ears. What the teller went to do as she left her window, came outside of the unlocked door and went all the way to the corner to whisper whatever shiesty, probably scandalous, premeditated moves that they were planning. Now, whatever they said to each other, she came back to the window, went inside, sat down, and said, all of the sudden, the screen is asking for your signature. And then she tears off my receipt, which has my balance and my withdrawal and the time on it. She hands me that. Okay, she didn't hand me the money yet. She hands me that. But then she says on a blank piece of Citibank paper that was behind the receipt, she says, I need your signature right there. Now, this morning I had to go to a pain management doctor. I'm in extreme chronic pain, day, evening, and night. My appointment was at 8:30. By the time I got to speak to the doctor lady, it was 10:30. All to hear the same old stuff that I've heard from other pain doctors and doctors. So basically, it was a waste of time. But I had to wake up real early because that appointment was in Long Beach, California. And I didn't want to be stuck in traffic, and I didn't know where I was going because that was my first time to that particular pain management doctor's office. So it's been a long day, but when I go to the bank to withdraw some of my own money, all of a sudden there's this shiesty activity. I'm in terrible pain, nerve damages, okay? No medication, no cream, no intense therapy, nothing is helping. Surgery has been declined because I don't want to live the rest of my life with artificial discs and plates and screws in my neck. And keep in mind, an ACDF surgery is anesthesia, being paralyzed as well as one of the risks. They make you sign if you never wake up, or if you have complications, or if you become paralyzed, because we're dealing with the cervical spine, the vertebrae. We're not dealing with your lower back. We're dealing with the upper extreme. Live in pain day and night. But anyway, I went to the bank. The teller lady leaves her post, goes all the way in the corner outside to the desk of the manager lady, who has recognized me and approved things a few times before lately, okay? She comes back, she says, well, a signature's required. I said, why is that? A signature has never been required. You usually take my driver's license and make me put in my ATM card and my PIN number on the outside. She said, oh, it's new rules. We're not going to do anything with it. We're just going to keep it here in the bank. We're not going to give your name to nobody or anything like that. That's what she tell me, I'm just a naive woman, just, okay. So I fell into it. I signed an empty Citibank piece of paper. It didn't have my balance on it. It didn't have the withdrawal that I'm making on it. It just had a line where you're just signing your life away. I left and I informed family members. Family members came up there, okay, with me and said they're not going to give you back what you signed. You fell into it. You're basically stupid for signing. You should have said, no, I'm not signing no empty blank piece of Citibank paper. Never did before. Why now? But I did. It's been a long day, folks, and I'm miserable, in pain. Now, I decide the best thing to do is call the police and let them know, dial 911, let them know, come here now. This is what's happening. So that they can go in the branch with me. So that they don't flip the script on me and call the police on me first. And now I'm in custody for only trying to prevent myself from possible suspicions of fraud. A person can wake up and next thing you know it, you're wiped out. Your money's gone. That's why people don't keep all their money in one section. This is the purpose of this. There have been banks out here in California, I don't know about where you live, that bank employees have stolen millions of dollars from customers and they've got popped. You can do your searching on the internet. I'm not going to blast other bank accounts and bank facilities that I know that have done this before, because they didn't do it to me. So, anyway, you can search on the internet if you think I'm making stories up. But there have been millions of dollars stolen out of people's accounts from other branches. I'm not saying Citibank, no. This Citibank I just opened not too long ago, a couple of months ago. But I've been there a handful of times or more, and you never asked me for my ID. You asked me for my driver's license or put in your PIN number outside in the machine, but you never asked me to sign a blank piece of Citibank paper. Anyway, what happened, I'm making a new video now to give you an update. If you don't know what happened in the beginning, you could go on my YouTube channel and see the video that happened in the bank branch just about a little over a couple of hours or so ago. That would be part 1. This is part 2. Well, after I shot the video, okay, one police officer, first of all, inside the branch, the manager lady that you see on part 1 of the video says, "You are never allowed in here again, and we're closing you're never allowed in here again." Okay? I said, that's fine. Okay? So, the officer told me to wait outside. I wait outside. Okay? And one of the officers originally attempted to go in and ask the manager lady, "I feel uncomfortable signing a blank piece of Citibank paper." Okay? It's like a paper. It's like a prescription paper. But it's, it's like exactly the receipt she gave me with my balance and my withdrawal on it, except it was blank. Same size, damn near, and everything. But I had to sign this blank piece of paper, right? So, the officer attempted to go in and tell the manager, "I feel very uncomfortable and I want my paper back with the pen and my signature, that particular paper." Okay? Another officer goes in there and attempts to ask for the original paper that was blank that I signed in ink at the teller. After a little while, the second officer comes out with, all of a sudden, a copy of my original receipt that I already have in my hand and my signature at the bottom. So what they did was quickly take my withdrawal receipt that they gave me. What they did was make a duplicate and put it on top of my signature. Okay? So they gave him that. He comes outside. I said, "This is not my original. And by the way, this wasn't in front of my eyes. And my signature, this stuff on the top, this receipt all of a sudden wasn't on that blank piece of paper that they kind of put to the side, like I'm not paying attention." Okay? So he comes out with this paper, a copy of the receipt that I already have in my hand that I always get originally, and my signature on the bottom all of a sudden. That's what they gave the second policeman. The second policeman said, supposedly, that they pushed the burglar or security alarm. I don't know if the bank, once they do that, if they get charged or fined or something, $10,000 or whatever. But the officer said they panicked or something and pushed the security alarm, which I don't believe, because why would you push the security alarm when I called the police on the outside, waited for them, and took the police in there with me? The police were already there. So this makeup story, or this so-called pushing the security alarm, is baloney. But if they did, why did they do so? I came with the police and I called the police originally. The police are already there. And you see them in their car right in front of your eyes. They're in your branch. So why are you going to call? I didn't go in there on my own. I waited for the police to come once I dialed 911. But the scandalous, shisty female employees have to try to cover up now. Because Sarah's not that naive and stupid like they thought. Okay? So now they want to push the security alarm. Well, you know what? People aren't stupid. Because first of all, if a real high corporate office checks what time you push that security panic alarm, they can easily go back and say, well, you know what? Why'd you guys do that? Were you unfolded? Are you nervous you've got busted attempting to commit fraud possibly on her account and her name with a blank piece of paper that you forced her to sign in order for her to get her own money in life? What time did you push that security alarm? Oh, really? What time did you get there, police? What time did Sarah walk back in the door with the police? They don't think like this, though. I mean, you got to be a forensic scientist to really pinpoint the bad on their end. Anyway, here we go. The second officer comes out and say, I can't make them give me back the blank piece of paper, the bank paper, the city bank paper that you signed with ink. I can't make them give it back to me. This is like a civil matter. This is really not a criminal matter. It's a civil matter. I can't make the bank give you back the blank piece of paper that you signed. So he comes out with a card. He says, this is the bank branch number. You can file a claim, whatever. First of all, it's not the corporate office or anything like that. I've already asked somebody. She's going to look into getting corporate office phone numbers and addresses so that I can make sure that they're aware. Because I did call the number. I was about to call the news, all the news stations, and let them know. But the reason I paused on that, and I told the employees I was going to do that, the reason I paused on that is because it's best for me to call Citibank, only because the officer came outside and said, I want you to know a couple of things. You can never go back in there. If you go back in there, you're going to be arrested for trespassing. They don't want you back in there. I said, that's fine. I'll never go back in there. They also said that they're closing my accounts. Okay? And they also said, basically, you just can't go back in there, and they said they're closing your accounts. Well, I called the phone number of the number that was given from apparently the manager to the police officer. I called the number and I filed a report with Citibank, but I'm going to call Citibank again, and I'm hoping that a certain girl on here, Jennifer, goes ahead and gets me the corporate office's numbers and addresses. She's also instructed to save these YouTube videos. I already told whoever I talked to, his name is Jeff. That's all he would give me. His name is Jeff at Citibank, at the phone number that was on the card that the police handed me. A claim, supposedly going to let the upper management and corporate office investigate. He himself on the phone said that seems very fishy. That doesn't seem like something right there. And I'm glad you are making us aware of this. One of the police officers, there was a Spanish one, and then when there was a American Caucasian one. The American Caucasian one stood in front of me and said, I have to admit, this does sound pretty fishy. And I would feel uncomfortable the way that you're feeling now. Okay, keep in mind, outside, with tears and snot coming out of my nose like crazy, where I have to go in the car and get paper towels, embarrassed, snot, tears outside. Why do I have to go through this? For my very own money. Why? So this concludes part 2 of what happened to me today at Citibank in Hawthorne, Hawthorne, California. This is not right, folks. Not right. Why? Why should I have to make a video like this? Why should I have to go through this? Why? Why? There's a lot of scams, a lot of fraud. People are desperate. A lot of people these days, they'll do so many things for the American dollar bill. I knew something is wrong. Even though I had an early start, and let me tell you something, folks, I don't sleep very much at night, okay? When I tilt my head forward, backwards, or sideways, the C5 and C6 and probably C7, these discs are pushed out of my cervical spine. They're hitting my nerve roots. They're striking down my shoulders and my hands, my arms. The feeling is useless. One of these right here caused my permanent nerve damage. Tell me why, folks. Why do I have to end my afternoon with this type of activity going on at Citibank? Why? You know why? Because they're looking on the computer and they know what you got. And they want it. The problem is, it's not theirs. So how do they get it? Maybe we can make the stupid, dumb Egypt Beauty sign a blank piece of Citibank paper and we'll get it later. Quickly later. Let me tell you something. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm more street smart than apparently they realized. I'm going to leave it at that. You folks have a nice evening. Again, this is August 26, 2019. And this is all that happened to me today in my life. Bye for now, folks.